Hey guys, welcome back to another video in this channel. Today we're going to continue with the portfolio review. I'm going to be moving a little bit quicker because I think we spent a little bit too much time yesterday. And unless I see like really glaring things that would need some correction, I'm going to try to keep moving at a little bit of a higher speed to keep things interesting. Remember that we do have this Skillshare promotion that you can use to learn a little bit about 3D.
Hey guys, Abraham here. I just wanted to remind you guys that we upload all of our courses to Skillshare. Skillshare is this amazing site where you can access a ton of different content to learn, improve, and grow as an artist. We have all of our courses available to watch and learn from right now in Skillshare. You can check the description down here, and Skillshare is offering 1 free month trial to their premium membership. With this membership, you're going to be able to access all of our courses and watch and learn all of the amazing things that we cover with all of the softwares. So, what are you waiting for? Check Skillshare down here below.
There we go. So we're going to continue with Nilesh Jengel, and here's the link. Hi Abraham, hope you guys are doing well. Nilesh here. I'm a BFX student who is looking for his first breakthrough in this industry. So can you guys please keep valuable feedback on my demo reel? And I also want to pursue my master's in this field. So what's your take on whether I should apply to some foreign universities or not? Thank you in advance for your valuable feedback. Yes, I mean, again, as I mentioned in the last video, any kind of education is always good due to the connections and of course the content that you're going to learn. Let me pause the other music so that we can all hear this one. Okay. Render can improve on that one. The model is fine, but the render could improve. Textures can improve on that one. They're a little bit flat. Again, model is fine. Model is fine. Textures are way better on this one. That's cool. Ooh, a boat. I've always wanted to model a boat. Never had the chance. Pretty nice. Pretty ambitious. Yeah, it looks good. Do we have textures? We need to texture that one. That would be a great challenge for you to texture that one. I would definitely texture this in Mari or in Substance Painter with Udem's so that you get some nice stuff. Oh, okay, here we're gonna stop. So, yeah, this character, I think it's not there yet. I think the cloth and some of the props and stuff, it's not there yet. The face also looks a little bit weird, so I would probably take this one out. I don't think you're, I don't think this character is at the level of the other things that we just saw, and this is definitely gonna bring your portfolio down a little bit. Characters are tough, guys. Like, I know characters are tough. Nice one. I like this one. A lot of props, a lot of things. Cool. That's a great piece. Careful on the direction of the wood. Make sure you look at reference and make sure the wood follows the proper direction of the grain. Getting very thirsty. Okay, do we have all of the weapons now? Okay, cool. I'm just gonna forward through them. Yeah, weapons are great, and they look really nice, so those are perfect. I might, just to save a little bit of time, because your portfolio is a little bit long, when we were doing our portfolios, they would recommend that they were like 1, maximum 2 minutes long, because when people submit portfolios, like the people that review them, they're gonna have to go through a lot of them, and they're gonna do exactly what I'm doing right now. They're just gonna scroll past them. So if you can show me a section where you have like 4 weapons at the same time, like doing the turntable, I know what I'm seeing. So I know what I'm looking for, and you don't need to show me each specific weapon independently. This axe, I will take it out. It's not as strong. Very simple model. I don't think it needs to be alongside the other ones. So that one's fine. A little bit simple. I might take it out. The grenade's fine. Again, textures are a little bit too saturated. They look a little bit too cartoonish, so be careful there. Same deal, or same thing that I've mentioned a lot of times in regards to the metal edgeware. Don't do metal edgeware everywhere. You need to make sure that you only have metal edgeware on the important parts of the element, okay? So either paint out some areas or use one of the tricks that I showed a couple of weeks ago. I think it was called, the video was called something like get the best metal edgeware or best metal edgeware technique or something. And that's gonna give you a better result. Yeah, you can like remove like easily like 1.5 minutes of your portfolio by doing like 4 elements on your turntable at the same time. That way, instead of having to show each one doing the same thing, just have one screen on like one corner of the screen and have 4 of them rotating at the same time, and that should be more than enough. I think your portfolio is good. I do think we're missing more complex objects. Most of them are relatively simple, I would say, and the texture work needs a little bit more love. But I do think this is more than enough to submit it to some like other universities or other colleges to get a master's, for instance, or even a job. Like this is already like competent enough to get a job. Again, I would texture that one. That would be great if you could texture that specific boat. And yeah, just keep working on this, my friend. You're in the good path. We just need to polish. That was Nilesh. Let's now go with Adrian. Hi, Abraham. I've submitted my portfolio for review a few times before. The last time a few months ago, and since then I've updated it with new pieces. Let's take a look. Yes, I remember. You were one of the car guys. Nice. Okay, let's take a look. So I don't remember which one was the last piece. I think I don't remember seeing this one, but it looks really good. This is what I meant by the grain of the wood. See how it's following the same like long diagonal? That's what we're gonna go for. This is perfectly fine for a video game. M2000 or 200 intervention. That one looks really nice as well. Maybe a little bit of more rust, you know, just to change things up a little because it's a lot of gray. But other than that, looks good. Another car, VMW i8. Remember, one of the most important things about cars is the wireframes. We really want to see the wireframes on cars. So yes, there we go. Here we are. A little bit stretched. So these are not for, I would say these are not for subdivision softwares. These are for games, which is fine. Oh, it did subdivide nicely though. Oh, cool. No, it did subdivide nicely. So nice. Yeah, that one works. Yeah. Take this one out, my friend. You have a great portfolio. You don't need to say that you know. Like you can add this on your resume. Like I can also do a little bit of UI UX design, but you have such a strong like modeling portfolio that you don't need this. So I would take that one out definitely. 3D scan, nice. Yeah, I think the scan could be cleaned a little bit more because I can see the low poly version, but it's not a bad exercise. A little bit dense. I would definitely keep this one a little bit lower. I think you went a little bit dense on the topology and the flow here. I don't love it, but it's not bad. 3D scanning is definitely tricky. Were you using the same one I did? Yes, right. Reality capture. I did a video. We did the boots a couple of months ago. You can get some nice designs. Yeah, cool. Nice, yeah. I mean, you keep getting better, my friend, so that's always good. Again, take this one out. I don't think you need it. And I think I've mentioned this one before. If you want to get into the entertainment industry, it might be a good idea to also do like some sort of robot or sci-fi mech and stuff like that, because that will tell recruiters that you are also capable of doing that sort of stuff. Aswin Anand. Hi, my name is Aswin Anand. I'm from India. I'm currently doing digital sculpting and texturing. Here's my portfolio. Let's take a look. See, here we go. Oh, let's turn back the music. There we go. Nice. Animal anatomy. There's not a lot of people that do animal anatomy. Almost everyone goes towards characters. You're doing a little bit of animal. That's great. I love the turtle. I've also wanted to do a turtle for a long time now. Again, I haven't had the chance. Yeah, this looks nice. And the render looks even better. Really nice texturing, my friend. I would like to see the rest of the character though. I only seen the head. Have you not finished the shell? It will be a nice idea to see the whole thing. Wow. Nice. This is really good. I actually thought this was like a picture. That's pretty cool. Hehe. Okay, I think we can improve a little bit on the textures, like add more variation. This snake looks a little bit weird. The frog looks great, but the snake looks a little bit weird. Careful here with the UVs. They're not flowing as nicely. I mean, it's not the end of the world, but yeah, you have good stuff. We did release the latest. There was a animal anatomy course that was released again like last month. I think it was not mine. It was one of the other instructors here in the team. But you might want to check that one out because he does like action and stuff. I think he does a hyena as well. Hyena. hyena, I think is the proper work or the name, and I think you can benefit from that one because the model or the sculpt looks good on your end. Like you have a good grasp of sculpting. We need to work a little bit more on the rendering side of things. You have a good render. Like these two renders are really good. We need to make sure that all of these guys over here get to the same level so that you are at that like top level. And hey, who knows? You could be the animal sculpting guy out there in India that everyone goes to. Because again, I haven't seen a lot of animals in portfolios. Everyone does like or almost everyone does like characters. Animals are another like very important part of the process. So yeah, congratulations, that one. Now you've inspired me. Maybe we'll do an animal for one of the next like series in YouTube. Naman, hi Abraham, how are you doing? Well, I'm Naman Bisht from India. I'm a 3D artist. It would be great if a professional like you would go through my portfolio and share your feedback. Currently, my interests are making realistic props, but I also have interest in characters as I'm learning sculpting as well. Let's take a look. Okay, I'm a little bit curious because when I go over this with my mouse, I see this like sphere and that looks very cool. And I was hoping to see it over here somewhere and I don't see it. So yeah, okay, first things first, as I always tell my students, do not mix your portfolios. I am seeing a little bit of like drawing and digital art here or vector art. This do not belong in a 3D like a portfolio because then you're not really clear about what kind of artist you are. You can of course add that in your resume and keep it on your like personal stuff, but I would probably take them out. This gun looks good. The textures I don't love, but the model's not bad. Same for the render. The render is very, I don't know what it is, but it doesn't look as nice. And I can see that you have better renders here, like this one right here. Great, this is a great model, by the way. We're doing a VR experience with extinguishers for for some industries over here. This is great. Great low poly, great reference. Yeah, this is amazing. Like this is a perfectly valid like model for portfolio. Same for this walkie-talkie. I really like this one. Again, simple, clean, high poly, low poly. I'll probably keep the low poly a little bit higher on poly count. Like 5,000 should be fine for a complex object like this one. This schoolgirl looks nice as well. Proportions are a little bit, I wouldn't say weird, but different. The neck's a little bit weird. Because usually on the neck, you should see the straightness of the neck and then it goes into the shoulder muscle. And here's more like a cone. So that's one thing I would probably change. You might not notice it as much because of the type of character that we have here, the stylization, but it kind of shows. Like I would expect to see like a little bit straight here and then the muscle. The muscle doesn't go all the way up. But it's a nice interpretation of the concept. This fan art is nice as well. I like it. Fan arts are fine. Don't do as many though. You also want to do some original art. This tractor is really good, or this truck is really nice. I do think the textures are a little bit too noisy, and we can improve on the render a little bit, but the modeling's fine. And in your message to you do mention that you want to be a sculptor or a character artist as well. So we need to start incorporating a little bit more of that stuff into our portfolio. We need to do a little bit more organic sculpting. One very cool like exercise that I like to keep my students are statues. Statues are a really nice way to practice something, and you can do a statue of whatever, like even like a gargoyle, right? Gargoyle. So if you do like a gargoyle, try doing something simple like this, and that's you're gonna practice organic sculpting and retopology and texturing and stuff like that. And then once you master that, once you're good like at creating this sort of stuff, then you can jump and start doing like characters and creatures and things that are a little bit more realistic. That's always a good way to move forward. So yeah, that's a good portfolio, my friend. Keep on working. I love the fire hydrant. Like this props right here, top-notch level. Congratulations. Let's go now with Rakesh Murthy, work in progress. Okay, let's see. Says right here, hello Abraham sir, I've been working on this character for more than 4 months now. It has come to a stage where I will be making it game ready by doing high poly sculpting and retopologizing it for game before unwrapping it in Maya Max, baking and texturing in Substance Painter. That's the pipeline. I kindly request you to please be critical of it. Help me, let's do it. Nice. The face looks good. Beard looks good as well. You're gonna have to decide what you want to do with the beard. Are you gonna do haircuts? Are you gonna do realistic hair? Or are you gonna bake this down into like a like a mesh. Both of the, like all of those three elements work perfectly fine. We definitely need to create the high polys for a lot of the pieces. Hopefully you did the like model thing so that you can subdivide them easily. Otherwise you're gonna have to do a little bit of a sculpting. But proportions look good. I would usually make my dwarfs a little bit more top heavy on the shoulders and on the arms. They tend to be like quite bulky. I did a dwarf like a long time ago. I haven't done a dwarf in a while now. I should do one. But yeah, I think we're in a good position to jump into the high poly stage. Like the face and the beard are already there, but some of the assets like the axes and again some of the armor pieces, they definitely can have more detail before you do the retopology. I would push this high poly a little bit more, and then we can do the retopology. But you're in a really good position. Now also you need to start thinking about how you're going to separate the pieces, whether they're going to be separated or not, depending on the kind of game character you want to do. Do you want to do like a super high poly 3D character, such as like in God of War, which is going to be like 150,000 triangles? Or do you want to do a super minimalistic one for like Total War, which is going to be like only 10,000 triangles, right? Depending on what kind of game character you're going for, that's going to be the way you're going to be combining or dividing certain parts of the character. But this is a really good work in progress. Hopefully in the next couple of months you can share with us some more stuff so that we can see how it's coming along. Because that one looks good. Ageya? Ajija? That's a different name for me to pronounce, sorry. Says right here, hi Abraham, I'm a graduate from Bitmestra in VSC animation and multimedia. I'm strong with character sculpting, especially in eyes. I want to work in games. Please help me and take a look at my portfolio. Please look at my character in Google Drive and help me how to improve. Okay, let's take a look at the portfolio first. Hey, I know this guy. I've seen him before. That's a stylized soldier, right? Okay. So in general, I can see a good level of modeling all around. Like this sort of things tend to be quite complicated, and it seems like you got a hang, like a really nice hang of modeling. Rendering, we definitely need to improve rendering. Don't be afraid of increasing the intensity of your lights. I don't know what happens. I used to do this, but I don't know why I did this, and I don't know why students do this. Where we're afraid of increasing the contrast of the lights, and we like to keep things very like flat, very I would say basic. So yeah, just increase the intensity of the lights. Have like a really nice light pointing down into the car, and that's gonna give you a better result. There's a couple of things here in your portfolio that I would say are a little bit too simplistic for your portfolio or not complete. Like this one right here, I would definitely or this is the demo reel. Yeah, so we want clay renders on these ones because just like basic renders, they're not gonna cut it for portfolio. Nowadays, if you're gonna be a modeler, you need to model, texture, and render. Like it's a must. So we'll definitely update that one. Like something like this. Like if this is what you can do, go back and fix those ones. Like you don't need to start from scratch. Just go back and give them a better result. Again, your prop modeling seems to be on point. You are going a little bit too low poly, which I know it's a school of thought or a way to work that a lot of teachers teach, where they tell you need to optimize everything and you need to go really low poly. That's not needed anymore. So like all of these buttons that you see right here, they're like 6-sided cylinders. Go 12-sided. It's not gonna kill your program. It's not gonna kill the game if you're going a little bit higher than usual. And if you later on need to reduce it, you just reduce it and that's it. It's better to be like higher and they go down. This one looks okay. Careful here with the rigging. This arm looks broken. I know rigging is difficult, and I do remember when I recorded this course that we didn't really cover rigging as much. I just gave you like a really quick breakdown on how to pose a character. Also, certain areas look a little bit what's the word, glossy in a couple of parts. So careful there. And then you did share another character. Oh, you're doing this character? Another one of my students was doing this character as well. Let's download this. I'm going to open it in Marmoset just because it's faster. Okay, yeah, there's a couple of issues we have here, especially with proportions. The face needs a little bit of work, quite a bit of work. I'm not gonna be too harsh on the critiques because there's definitely a lot of things that we need to do to improve this character. But I promise you guys this next week, I'm gonna take one of the days to teach you like the basic like forms of the face so that you can properly execute them. Same for the eyes, because I know it's a tricky part. So we'll cover that. Okay, we'll cover the face. Let's go now with Ashkay Kumar. Hi, I recently discovered your channel. It was amazing. It has many useful information that helps beginners like me. You're doing a wonderful thing by reviewing portfolios and advising new artists. So if you could give me a hard criticism of my works, there you go. I don't like hard criticism, not because I don't think it's useful, but I think some people are just way too mean when criticizing things. I always like to see the positive things and then, of course, give my opinions. And talking about that, in general, I think you are experimenting with some sculpting. I can see this. You're using Nomad. Interesting. I don't have experience with that particular software with Nomad. We need to improve our texturing. Our modeling is okay. Like this one looks good. I like this modeling, but the texturing definitely needs some help. It looks a little bit unrealistic. What are you using to texture? Photoshop only? You definitely need to learn Substance Painter. We did release a Substance Painter course recently as well, with very, very cool things that I believe you could use. And another one, which is always one of my recommendations, it's rendering, right? Rendering definitely can help you as well. Yeah, like anatomy here needs a little bit of work. I do see one thing here. Again, your portfolio kind of goes all over. It's all over the place. I see characters, I see creatures, I see environments, I see props, and I see illustration. Pick one. Pick one or two and focus on that kind of stuff, as long as they're like they supplement each other. So if you want to do like illustration, because I can see that you have some good talent there, that's fine. Do illustration and then creature sculpting maybe, or creature concept art, stuff like that, because you're trying to cover a lot of things in your portfolio, and I don't see like one that you're like super specialized in. This is a nice model. Cars are always tough to model, but this one is nice. And render, we definitely could improve in rendering. What software are you using for modeling? Maya. Yeah, Maya is fine. Yeah, I think if you're using Arnold, there's ways to definitely improve the rendering of your stuff, because it does look nice, but I think we can get this better. Like this render right here is a lot better than the last ones. Even the models are fine. The candle, of course, a little bit high poly, but the surface and everything looks good. And we definitely need to learn more about texturing, my friend. That would be my advice. If you want to learn something new this weekend, maybe using Skillshare, perhaps, get the Substance Painter course, because you have some good models that would benefit quite a bit from having really nice textures. Cool. Let's go now with, that was Ashkay. Manuel. Oh. Says, hi, I've been watching your channel since the first portfolio review, and now I have some work to show. I know my portfolio is not so refinement, but I want to share. That's great. One of the best things you can do as an artist is to share, because you won't know if you're doing things right unless you show them, right? Okay, so this looks good. I like it. Nice presentation. Clean render. This is what I'm talking about when I mention render. Like, you want to have a clean render. However, this is not the switch. What do I mean by this? If we look at the switch light, which is what you were trying to model here, I believe, the proportions of some of the things that you're showing are not exactly as they are. This is more like your interpretation of a handheld device. But as you can see, the size of the buttons is not the same. The positioning of the buttons is not the same, okay? So it looks good. If we wanted to do, like, have you seen those TV series where they have like a laptop, but instead of having like the Apple logo, it's like a pear or like a strawberry or something, because they don't want to pay royalties or whatever? Like, this could work as a fake switch, right? And it's a clean model, but I would still share either a wireframe or try to get it as close as possible to the original model. Barrels! I love barrels. I have my little barrel right here. So yeah, this is a nice one. I like the textures, look good. The crate looks good. I don't have anything to say on this one. This is a great model. The only thing is, of course, we need to see a wireframe as well. A wireframe is always useful. Old Soviet phone, a gramophone. I think the size of the letter is a little bit too big. Maybe the scale of the letter could be reduced just a little bit. But everything else looks good. Again, I mean, you're using Marmoset. Why not try to update or upload the file that lets me see the wireframe and the normal maps? That would be great. And the reference, if you have a reference of this thing so that we can see like how it looks in real life and compare it, that would be great as well. But the texture work is way better. That was cool. You're from Vertex School. I've heard about that school. Nice. Good. And modular colonial building. Wait, isn't Vertex School the one from Ryan Kingsley? I think it's the one from Ryan Kingsley, right? I don't remember. I think it is. I took some courses with Ryan Kingsley when I was first starting a long time ago. I took an anatomy course with Ray Bustos, a super amazing teacher. This is great, man. This looks really good, actually. Like a really good. And projects are great. Like if you're doing projects at the school and this is the result that you're getting, you're doing great. Keep on working on this kind of stuff, man, and you're gonna have a great portfolio. Again, just a couple of suggestions on this couple of items, but this 4 ones right here, really good. Dallas, you're not far from us or from me. Really close to the border. Well, not really close, but you're at the south of the United States. I'm up the north of Mexico, so we're relatively close. Good job, Manuel. Keep going. Keep going. Akshay Dudia. Hi, my name is Akshay Dudia. I'm a lighting and 3D environment artist. This is my first time posting my portfolio here. Thank you for the opportunity. You're welcome, my friend. Let's take a look. Okay. So the moment you mention you are a lighting and environment artist, that's what I'm focusing on, right? Like I'm not gonna evaluate some of the props, which are not bad, like this one right here, the Pokeball, this pliers, that's fine. But I'm focusing on the lighting. This, great lighting. Super useful for like architects and stuff like that, like people when they're like gonna build or something. This is great. I love this one. Same for the next one. This one, really good as well. Nice, moody, like interesting light. I like this. What are you using? Blender. Nice. Yeah, see, you can do great things with Blender. But then we have a couple of ones that I don't love. Like this, again, your architectural stuff, really good. But once we get into game stuff, there's a couple of things that I don't understand. Like this one right here. Like the modular pieces are great, but then the light's not great. So this is where you need to always apply the things that you know from other softwares in the new softwares so that you can elevate the pieces into a better position, because the model looks fine. The windows look a little bit stretched, to be honest, but everything else looks interesting. And this looks stylized. That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. I like this one. VR is tricky. VR is tricky because there's a lot of limiting factors. Ooh, the sculpting looks great, man. I love this temple. Nice. Yeah, really good, man. Really good. That one looks good. And you're like making sure to communicate that it's VR. This one's nice as well. Oh, wait. I don't understand. This is the... Oh, okay. You recreated a scene from Horizon Zero Dawn using Mega Scans. So this is your recreation, and this is the one from the game. I think you got pretty close. This one's a little less saturated. I would say that yours looks a little bit too colorful. This looks a little bit duller. But yeah, that's a nice... I would say that's a nice approach. So I like it. And then a little bit of like lighting exercise. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure what my advice would be to you, my friend. I think if you're gonna go into the 3D environment for games, which is kind of what I'm seeing right here, we need more setups. Just download things that are already on the marketplace and focus on the light. Make sure you get these very nice, moody, cinematic lights on your compositions and do several of them so that you can share and explain to people that you know how to do it. And of course, do your research on Unreal, because I know Unreal has a lot of things like light maps and the new Lumen thing. So there's a lot of different things that you can learn to optimize your light so they look as nice as possible. But I think it's pretty cool. Your sculpting is really good as well, by the way. What's this? Oh, okay, lightning reference. Okay. Yeah, I would say we matched it pretty closely. Yeah, your sculpting is nice as well. So I think you definitely have some strong things. Another thing you could do is, again, same advice I give a lot of people. Look for environment concept art and try to do something. Like find one piece, just one piece that's going to be like your masterpiece, right? And say, hey, I'm going to make sure I match this as close as possible. I would suggest doing something that's, I would say, relatively simple. Maybe it's something like this, which is a little bit more stylized, or like this, something that doesn't have a lot of props. Because then, whenever I teach the environment class and my students go for concept arts, they pick stuff like this. And I'm like, dude, you realize you're gonna spend like 6 months modeling stuff just because there's so much stuff on the scene? Or they pick things like this. Like, this is for a whole team. Like, if you're just one person, you're either gonna have to download a lot of things or kit bash a lot of things. It's not simple. So go for something that is simple, but at the same time can give you a really strong piece for your environment, right? So I don't know, something like this, right? It's just a couple of columns, desert, rocks, stuff like that, and you can get a really, really nice cinematic look. So yeah, go for that, my friend. I think you're in a really good place as well. Vishal Yadav. We're up to the final 5, I think, or final 6. Hey Abraham, hope you're doing great. My name is Vishal Yadav. I'm an aspiring 3D artist from India. I came across your channel about a year ago, and since then, I've been watching every video of yours. I've also got 2 of your courses. You're amazing and very helpful. Also, I'm going to participate in your weapon creation competition. That's great. Yeah, by the way, for those of you that are unaware, we have our first competition open. There's going to be a submission link in the next couple of weeks. We're working on that. It's going to be a landing site and everything. So this next week, I'm going to work on the design so that you guys can see like the process that you should be following, or one of the processes that you could follow. Let's look at the art station. Nice robots. I love the Matt Dixon robots. This one's pretty cool. I think the render could be a little bit better. It looks a little bit 3D, like fake-ish, but it's not bad. It's a little bit too saturated, I would say. Prop-wise, you have a nice understanding. I would definitely take away this one out of your rendering. Again, you guys need to be very smart on what kind of things you share. If you're sharing a super complex Harley Davidson at the side of super low poly cart, that's not gonna fly. So either combine them in a single like file so you don't have a lot of this stuff, or just take them out. Because I know that if you can do this Harley Davidson, you can definitely do this card. Like I wouldn't even doubt the fact that you can do a low poly version. And rendering is one of those weak points. That's why I did the last course, the cinematic rendering course, because I know that that's one of the things that people struggle a lot with. So I definitely think that you could like maybe render this one in a better light, like literally a better light, because it has relatively good textures. Another pass at the textures might also be a good idea. But yeah, you have good props. Lights and render is one of the things that you guys need to improve. And I'm not only mentioning you, like there's like several of the portfolios that I've reviewed this weekend definitely need to improve on the lights. I'll probably talk about lights next week as well, because that's definitely one of the weak points, because it's tricky. It's not as easy to create some nice lights. But overall, your models look good. Make sure to include wireframes with your models. Like I can see some clay renders like this one's right here, which are fine, but we do need to see the wireframes as well to make sure that you are doing good topology, which is of course quite necessary. Cool. So that was Vishal. Let's go now with Takahiro Yamasaki. I've seen your portfolio before as well. Let's see what we have new. My name is Takahiro Yamasaki. After watching contests on Next, I decided to submit my Modern Samurai Girl. But before submitting this model, I need to polish her 3D model's quality. Okay, Modern Samurai contains 3 models: her body, her pistol, and katana. I finished painting her suit and pistol. Now I'm painting her hair and katana. Is there any good advice to improve her quality? By the way, I have a question about making 3D model. Is there any good way to prevent 3D model from baking bad quality? Because when I bake 3D model in Substance Painter, results of baking show that there are some kinds of bad texture shadows on 3D model. I think this happens when there is difference between low poly and high poly surfaces. My fixing way is painting over bad texture, shadow on 3D models normal. Anyway, Photoshop. Is there other way to prevent baking? Yes, there are several different ways to prevent that. Let me see this thing first, and then I'll explain the baking thing. Okay, so yeah, I remember this girl looking way better. The suit is looking quite nice. I like that. Pistol is looking good. Katana needs to, yeah, this is working quite nice. I do think the face could still use a little bit of love. Same for the hair. It reminds me, I just finished the Xenoblade Chronicles 3 game. I'm not gonna spoil anything, but you guys might want to, or you in your case, Takahiro, you might wanna like sample some of the characters that are in the game, because the way that the faces look, it's really nice, I would say. They use another kind of shading, of course, but take a look at the forms, at the shapes, at the hairs, and try to mimic some of that stuff, because as you can see here, it's a really clean look overall. So I would recommend that. This suit looks amazing, by the way. Now, I know you mentioned some bakes. I don't see the bakes, but yeah, like there's a couple of reasons why you might get some bad bakes on your model. When you have one object on top of another, like this one, like let's say I'm doing a model of myself and I have my watch, right? If I keep the watch is gonna bake shadows on my wrist. And if there's a scene where I take my watch out, I'm gonna see the normal map of the watch on my wrist as well as the shadow. If you don't want to do that, there is an option on the baking options in Substance Painter which allows you to define whether or not you're gonna be baking that stuff down. I think I've mentioned it before, but I'm gonna do again another video on this next week to show you that specific one, like how to bake multiple objects into the same or in the same file without affecting each other. It's very, very common for pieces of armor to do that. And the other thing is exactly what you mentioned. Like if you have a high poly, let's say like a corner, and it's a round corner like this, right? And your low poly is just like a straight line like this, right? What's gonna happen is the normal maps of this face are gonna analyze up and down, and all of these guys are gonna be quite easy, right? Like it says, oh, I found this one. Okay, this one needs to be shaded like this, and then this one needs to be shaded like this. But once we hit here, right, it won't really know how to shade this properly. So you're gonna have two arrows looking very weird. And what's gonna happen is you're gonna have a weird like black like line right there. How do you solve this? On the low poly, get it closer to the silhouette. If you do 1, 2, and then 3, rather than 1 and 2, this extra polygon that we added here is going to soften up the normal map like influences. And of course, the higher the low poly, like if you add more divisions to a low poly, the nicer it's going to look towards or with the high poly, and the better your bakes are going to be. I'll talk about this one as well in this week so that you guys know what I'm referencing. Let's go now with well, sorry about that. Afshira Pratap Singh. Hi, I've been watching your channel since the first portfolio review, and now I have some work to show. I know my portfolio still has some refinement, but I wanted to share. That's great. Let's take a look. Well, I mean, yes, it needs a little bit of work, but you're in a really good position, my friend. This is really good. I mean, did you model everything? Because if you modeled everything and you textured everything, dude, this is great work. Like truly great work for like hard surface stuff. My advice would be to add your wireframes as well. Let's see if we can see it here. Can we see the wireframe? There we go. Yeah, I mean, this is great, man. It's very optimized. It's like the textures look really nice. Yeah, I don't know what to say, man. It's just I don't usually model hard surface, to be honest. I do a little bit more character stuff, but this is a really, really good, really high quality stuff. Like if you do this for the competition, you're gonna have really good chances, my friend. This is really, really good. I think texturing could improve a little bit. This one, the render is killing it. This is a great model, but the rendering is not good. So having a better render setup will be would be better, to be honest. Yeah, I think render is the point that you might need to improve a little bit on, because everything else looks really, really good. You're definitely a really proficient hard surface artist. I congratulate you on that, because it's a nice one. This model is not as good though. It's a little bit low poly on the low poly side of things. I might take this one out because I have really amazing models and weapons, and that one's again not as good. How is your high or your wireframe on this one? Whenever you have amazing looking like hard surface stuff like this one, people are gonna ask how the wireframe is, because there's a lot of ways to cheat. Okay, so this is for games. This is really good, man. Really optimized. Yeah, congratulations, man. I'm just curious whether or not these are from tutorials. I'm not doubting that you have the ability to do this by yourself. That would be my other advice. Oh, it's not from tutorials. It's... Where is it from tutorials? Okay, so this is the concept piece that this guy did. And then you took this concept piece and you did it. Damn, that's great, man. It definitely takes skill to do this sort of like hard surface stuff. Hopefully you already have a job because you have a really strong hard surface fundamental. So yeah, that's great, man. I think again the one advice I would give you is rendering. Like just presenting the things in a better render might be good for you. So that was Pratap. Let's go with Suman. Hi sir, hope you're good and thanks for your knowledge and sharing sessions. Here's my portfolio. Let's take a look. Okay, simple props, that's great. We definitely need to start adding a little bit more light. Again, it's a little bit flat, it's a little bit shadowy. Not as contrasty as I would normally like. But this is good. I would definitely go for more complex objects because I can see a simple watch, a simple grenade, this fuel can, the lamp. Let's try going for a little bit more of an advanced model, okay? This is a little bit better. Steampunk engine, I like that one. And another thing that I would advise is if you're already like creating several objects that kind of belong on the same environment, try to do a small scene like if you look for like old cabinet, right? We go images. You're gonna see that on old cabinets we have a lot of objects. So you could do a small scene, sort of like so like imagine you go into like the attic and you find an old cabinet with stuff. That kind of stuff, right? Like something like this, like small scene, maybe not as big as this one, just a corner of the room, but so that you can have multiple objects and create like a little story. Storytelling is always super important in 3D. So combining some of these things again in a little scene and adding like the table, the floor, like creating a little bit of a bigger environment, I think that would be a good suggestion for you, my friend. Let's go now with Ruben Lopez. Hello, good afternoon, Abraham. My name is Ruben. I've been involved in the 3D world of 3D characters for a couple of years. I finished a master's degree and I've also taken a couple of your courses that have been great for me to delve deeper into the process of creating characters. I'm currently doing a complete ring of one of my characters, but without leaving behind the sculpting and proving to be able to work one of these days if I'm lucky. You will be, my friend. Let's take a look. Ruben Lopez, Zaragoza, Spain, España. Nice. Okay, yeah, I remember this guy. This is the devil or the demon character that I've mentioned earlier. I see that you add some hair right there. That's great. It's a little bit dense. I do remember that I went a little bit lower for the what's the word, for the skirt and the body, but it's a nice texture. Looks a little bit more into the cinematic world. Oh, this goat looks great, man. I love this goat. Very funny. I've always loved this sort of like funny characters. I like this one. Wait, where's the hair? Oh, I want to see the hair. Do you not have a shot of only the hair? We need to add a shot of only the hair. I can see the wireframe there, but I would love to see, because I can see it here on the preview, but I don't see it on the character itself. This is a great one, by the way. In Spain, I've seen a lot of this sort of style, like there's very animated, cool looking style that doesn't look exactly like Pixar. It has its own sort of like spirit or soul, and I think it's really, really successful. I like this character. Careful again with the renders. This renders there look very flat. Always, like, I would personally remove these two renders and just keep like the pro renders. You don't need the other renders. The elements are fine. The rig looks good. Really close to the concept. I like that. Nice. Real time. Hey, I remember this one as well. This is from another client that I did a tutorial for, Freya. I don't think I've uploaded the Freya render. But yeah, the hair needs a little bit of work. Proportions look okay, and again, the textures look a little bit shiny in certain areas. And this is one of the most recent ones. Nice. Is this the one that you're rigging? This is really nice sculpting. I like that. Texture looks good. Yeah, I think like watching him be rigged would be a nice idea, because it's not that. Careful here. The bump seems to be inverted. I'm not sure if it's inverted, but the wrinkles here seem to be going up rather than down. Just make sure that you're properly mapping your texture there. And maybe a little bit of surface scattering. might be a good idea. Even if it's for games, I would still try to add subsurface scattering in Marmoset or in Maya. Both of them would work. Let's keep the music going. We're almost there. Yeah, this is a nice job, man. I think you're in a good position. Yeah, I guess the next step for you is, as you mentioned, to rig a character to make sure it can be used, and try to ally yourself with a concept artist. And it's always a good idea to do a little bit of teamwork and grab a concept from someone that's also trying to get into the industry and doing their concept, so that way you can help each other. I'm pretty sure you have some connections there that can be used. Let's go now with Mikko. Last but not least, Mikko. Greetings, Abraham. First of all, I want to say a huge thank you for your work on the channel and your time that you devote to the channel on YouTube. I also really like how you submit the materials in your courses on Udemy. I've been wanting to send my portfolio for a long time. I'm waiting for your feedback and recommendation. With great respect, Dennis. P.S. YouTube, Mikko. See you now. Yeah, I know you, my friend. You're one of the top commenters. You always submit your stuff. Good. I like this. Textures need a little bit of work on this one, my friend. It's a little bit too reddish. I'm not sure if it's the light or the textures that you added, but we can definitely improve that. Same thing, it looks a little bit too glossy, and since we're not using an HDR probably, that's why the metal doesn't look as good. So that's why HDRIs are always recommended. I really like this gun, looks really nice. I would say it's game ready. I do feel like you are following the metal edgeware advice, which is good. The only thing I would like to see on this one is a wireframe. We need to see a wireframe so we can see that everything is looking good. This one looks good. Fantasy. Wood needs a little bit more work. See how the wood has no bump? I would definitely add some bump to the wood so that we can see this wood grain a little bit more intensely. But I've seen this concept before, and I think you did nail it. Yeah. It's pretty close. This I would say is probably a weak model in the portfolio. I would probably take it out. It's a good exercise, but the chain doesn't look as realistic. The wood also looks a little bit fake, so I'll probably take this one out. I don't think it's as useful. This one's good. I like this one. Good job there on the texture, like making sure that's the most used parts on this tool. It is a little bit on the shiny side, I would say. Nice detail there. And again, we need to see the wireframe so that we understand how everything is assembled. And I really like this one. I saw it on the thumbnails just yet, and this one looks really nice. I don't love this lighting scenario. A little bit too orange. We can play around to make this look a little bit more realistic. But this first one, I think this render right here is really successful. I don't think this one is as successful, but we can work with it. We can find a way to make it work. Again, I'll like for this next week, we're gonna finish. I need to finish the shield that we're doing. We're gonna do female face anatomy, which I know is something that people struggle a lot with. And we're gonna do rendering. We definitely need to touch about rendering because I think that's one of the things that everyone could benefit from. Even me, like you never stop learning and studying. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you, Mikko, for Mikko, for your submissions, and thank you everyone. This month we had a lot of submissions. I know that this second one I had to rush it a little bit. Yeah, we'll keep talking about all of these topics on the channel, or not even that much, almost 50 minutes as well for this one. So thanks for everyone who hang out for this whole time. Maybe next month we'll do it live stream again as we did last month, which was pretty successful as well. And remember that every single like, share, and comment helps us with the channel. It helps us, keeps us going, and allows us to keep providing all of this valuable information for you guys. Hopefully all of this feedback that I gave you is going to be useful for all of you. And that's it for now, guys. I'll see you back on the next one. Bye-bye.